Hello everyone. We're looking at the Taroscope between the 7th and the 13th of October. So we've got a lot of energy shift. Sorry about the background, or maybe not so sorry, because I'm currently on holiday, enjoying the view. So having a little bit of a sunshine and being with my partner on my own without the kids. Absolutely fabulous. So let's start with this week and see what's coming up. So we have a very strong energy, transforming energy. We've got two of the external planets change in direction. One of them is Jupiter going retrograde, and it's going to stay retrograde till February next year, and we have Pluto going direct in the sign of Capricorn, which is quite a strong energy. So we start with Monday, where we know that something needs to be done. We know that even though things are difficult, they have to be done, but we are gaining a little bit of a positive note, because the further we go into Tuesday, Venus will be making a lovely trine with Mars. Remember, Venus making a trine with Mars is usually a very positive and very uplifting transit, because it gives us something, it gives us strength, and it gives us something positive. However, in this case, we've got Venus in its sign of detriment and Mars being in its sign of fall. So this brings an energy of, okay, there is a lot of emotional problems, emotional issues that we are dealing with, that we have to face. It's sort of like, okay, I've been hurt again, but now I'm looking at things from a different perspective. So maybe it's a good time to relook, change, or readjust any sort of issues that you have had within your relationship. This is a good time to talk about secrets, about the intimacy within your relationship. It's a very good time to actually do something with your partner, even though you might not necessarily enjoy it, but do it just for the purpose of bringing the relationship together. It's a good time to realize what sort of needs have we got. Mercury will be making a trine with Jupiter in Gemini. Mercury will be in the sign of Libra, so it's all about talk about very positive, uplifting feeling, very good communication. We can get some sort of good news, we can sign a contract. It's a very good time for business, or maybe you can inspire someone to take action, which is very good. And also any sort of trips and catching up with work is absolutely fabulous. So between Monday and pretty much Wednesday, this is a very good time to start doing stuff. Jupiter will be going retrograde in the sign of Gemini on Wednesday morning, and it's a good time to relook at old stuff. Remember, Jupiter retrograde, retrograde are usually being seen as something difficult. However, in this case, Jupiter is in the sign of fall, so I would say that it might actually not be that bad. It can actually bring some sort of clarity, maybe something that we haven't seen, or maybe something that we didn't manage to catch up on. We'll completely look at things from a different perspective. Maybe it's a good time to think, are you using what you've got? Do you know what sort of means to reach your potential you've got? Are you on the right path? Maybe it's time to rethink your priorities. What is it you want? Where do you want to see yourself from February onwards? What sort of steps you want to take? Maybe something that you've missed out on, you're going to catch up now. Maybe you want to change some sort of perspective in order to do things. Between Thursday and Friday, we've got two quincunxes. One is between Venus and Jupiter, the other one is between Mercury and Uranus. So we've got a little bit of a spending spree. So don't get caught up in promises that will not be kept, or don't overpromise stuff, and we might end up spending a little bit too much money. On Saturday, we do have Pluto going direct, and once it goes into progressive move, it will give us the strength to actually transform. Remember, Pluto in the sign of Capricorn is going to stay there till mid-November, I think 17th or the 18th, roughly, something like that. So it's a good time to actually do the things that you wanted to do maybe in January, end of December last year. This is the time to actually catch up on stuff. While talking about last year, I've already started to take orders for the solar return, so basically the next 12 months horoscopes, individual horoscopes, so you can look them up on the website www.treeofwisdom.pl. This is a good time to actually bring up all the courage that you have had within yourself and take that action, move forward. Maybe you will feel like you've grown, like you've changed, and this is the time to look at things from a different perspective. This is the time when you can actually transform on several levels. I'll speak about the signs in a minute. For Sunday, this is a time when you can start thinking, there might be some sort of secrets coming out, there might be some sort of difficult discussions that you have to have. Maybe you'll have to work with your psyche, maybe you have to have some sort of difficult discussions within your workplace, or maybe you have to rethink your priorities again. Watch out what you say, because you might hurt somebody, and this is a very good time to realize how manipulative you are, how maybe you don't trust somebody, and you'll realize why. Especially that after that Mercury moves into the sign of Scorpio, so it will bring a lot of secrets out. We might realize something, we might see something, we might feel quite mobilized at the same time, because the next day we've got the Sun making a trine with Jupiter, and I think the Sun is making a square with Mars. So we will have a quite difficult energy the day after, so we will be quite influenced by that. So we might notice that there are certain hidden motives, especially that we will be in the void moon during most of the day, between 4 and pretty much 10 o'clock. We will be in the void course of moon, so we will notice that certain things are difficult, maybe changing, maybe becoming a little bit harsher, so we have to realize certain truth, and things that have not been seen will be coming up to the surface. So let's have a look at how it's going to affect all of us. For Aries, this is a time when you have to think quite a positive beginning of the week, giving us a little bit of a boost of energy and a little bit more happiness in general, maybe gains. Jupiter going retrograde in the 3rd house will change your communication and how you act, but also maybe your path. Maybe you want to study, or maybe you will be able to concentrate on studying or teaching. Pluto going moving forward in the sign of Capricorn at your 10th house will be re-looking at your priorities work-wise. So maybe you have to think about work, maybe you have to change something to do with your needs in regards to work, and maybe you'll be able to change your perspective and you'll be able to transform your finances the further you go into the month. For Taurus, there's positive beginning of this week with a little bit of gains, maybe some money coming through. Jupiter going retrograde in the 2nd house of money. So there might be some chances, financial chances that you've missed out on, and you'll be able to catch up on them. The further we go into the weekend, it will be a time to re-look at how you see things, how you perceive things. Maybe you have to change your perspective. You might have to say goodbye to certain people in your life in order to move forward, but also you'll be able to reconnect with more people in your life. For Geminis, this is a good time for this is a very good time to re-look at your creative side, maybe changing your habits, maybe becoming more open-minded. You might meet people. Jupiter going retrograde in your sign will make you slow down, but it will allow you to work slowly on something progressive in future. So you might start a project that you've been planning to, and you will be working towards actually the success in future. Pluto being direct in your 8th house can bring up a lot of fears that you have to re-look at, and maybe you have to readjust certain needs. Mercury in the 6th house can bring up some issues with your health, but also there might be some sort of changes within your workplace. For Cancer, a very good positive beginning of this week with some happy information about family and relation. Jupiter going retrograde in the 12th house. You might want to disconnect from something that isn't too good. You might want to disconnect from certain relationships simply because Pluto is going direct in your 7th house. So you will be able to put some sort of boundaries. You might be working on those boundaries and what you want. Mercury moving into the sign of Scorpio will make you look at what gives you fun. What is it actually that makes you happy? For Leos, this is a time of positive beginning of this week with positive note of bringing your friends and friendships. You might actually realize something about somebody that you haven't spoken to. You might realize something about your future goals and where you want to be. A very good time to re-look at your priorities work-wise and health-wise. So you might actually exercise more, you might decide to change your habits, you might reconnect with your family a little bit more, and you might find out something about your family members. For Virgos, this is a good time for work, especially Jupiter going retrograde. You might gain chances that you've missed out on. You might reconnect with people from old workplace. You might go back for it. You might try for a job that you haven't tried for, that you were planning to try but you didn't. Pluto going direct in the sign of Capricorn will look at relationships, who you want to have in your life, romance. Maybe you want to reconnect with certain people. You might meet somebody and there might be an issue with children or discussions with children. Mercury in the sign of Scorpio will make you more talkative. You might talk a lot more and you will be more open about your feelings. For Libra, this is a good time for redirection, so you might change how you perceive life, how you perceive things, who you want in your life, what sort of people you are. Maybe you might want to educate towards something. Maybe you want to change your attitude towards certain relationships. Work-wise, this is a very good time to work on something. Work-wise, Pluto in the sign of Capricorn will ask you to look at your family relationship. It's whether you want to stick to the family that you're with or whether you want to build a new family. Maybe this is a time when you have to put some sort of boundaries and realize what is more important for you. Mercury in the sign of Scorpio will make you look at your finances the further you go into the week. For Scorpios, this is the time to redirect your emotional needs. Maybe you need to work on your emotional needs. Maybe you need to realize what sort of fears have you had. Financially, you might finalize certain financial projects. Your partner can gain more projects or more money, or you might notice that your financial situation is improving. Pluto in the sign of Capricorn in the third house will change how you look at things and will make you move more towards the goals that you've had. So you might realize that there are people in your life that you want to be with, or you might want to realize that out of a sudden you want to reconnect to people that you've missed, like you haven't spoken for in a while. For Sagittarius, this is a time to work on your relationships and money. So you might be getting a loan, you might be working on changing the perspective financially. You might be working on your finances more. You might reconnect to your partner. You might talk to your partner more. You might sign a new contract in regards to your work. The further you go into the week, the end of the week can be a little bit harsh, but financially, but you might spend more money, but also you might realize that you want to invest money elsewhere. Mercury will ask you to take a bit of a break, maybe take a trip, go somewhere and have fun. For Capricorns, this is the energy of your health, of yourself. You might be working more on the things that you need, what you want to do with your life. Maybe you want to change your health, maybe you want to change your work or how you work, maybe you want to put some sort of boundaries to your workplace, maybe you've been working too much. With Pluto in your first house, it will make you concentrate on yourself and how you want to transform and where you want to transform. For Mercury going into the sign of Scorpio, it will relook at your friendships and the people that are with you, and what sort of people have you got within your circle. For Aquariuses, this is a time of health and projects. Maybe there are some sort of hidden projects that you wanted to do. Maybe you want to check how you want to work. Maybe you want to work towards graduating in something. Maybe you want to study, or maybe you want to change your career. But this is a good time to relook at your creative side. What actually will give you the popularity? Maybe something that you want to be known for. Maybe there is a project that you want to start but you've been basically withholding yourself from. Pluto in the sign of Capricorn in your 12th house will relook at your health, and maybe you need to change your health in general. And Scorpio in Mercury in Scorpio will make you more active within your work and your public image. So we might be working more on that. It's a good time to reconnect with your children if you have ones, and watch out for any sort of romance, because you can get yourself caught up in a romance. For Pisces, this is the time of family, of friends, of reconnecting with people from your past. Maybe you want to work with your family in general. Maybe you want to work on your property. Maybe you want to start a business, something that will basically give you more stability in future. Pluto in the 11th house will reconnect you with friends from past, but also it will give you a direction about where you want to go. So if you've been missing out on something, this is a good time to rethink your priorities for the next couple of weeks. Mercury in the sign of Scorpio will connect you to study. You might study and travel. You might want to travel more than you've been doing before, and you might want to reconnect to people that you that you've missed out on. It's also going to put some sort of boundaries to your family and friends. I'd like to wish you a very good week. All the best.